Today on the channel, we're going to talk about Lipo Chargers. Guys, welcome back to the channel. For a while now, the charger on my left, the D6 Duo Pro, has been one of my all-time favorite chargers. It does pretty much everything I need it to do, and this is my daily driver and workhorse for the entire channel. This is really all I need is 2 ports on the front. I can charge 2 batteries where I can use a balance board, and I can charge up to 6 per channel. It will charge up to about 15 amps there, and it does AC input and DC input up to about 650 watts there. And it also does wireless charging for my phone, which I never really use. You can change channels back and forth here. It has a pretty large screen on here, and you can see it's pretty bright. It does also have a jog wheel controller on there, so that makes it pretty easy to set up a task and go for it. It also has front inputs for XT60s, which you can convert down to an XT30 if you need to. They have little adapters that you can do for XT60 to 30 if you're brand new, and they have this 2 to 6S balance port right here. So on the back, we have our AC input right there. It'll also do up to 240 volt for this one, so it is switchable between 100 and 240, and it'll do a DC input right here up to about 30 volts. So if you want to charge lipos in the field, you can do that, or you can make it a dedicated bench charger. So those are a lot of the good things about this charger. It also has a built-in physical fan with a vent in the very back and one on the bottom, and it also has a USB charging port up to about 2.1 amp there, and it has a USB port for firmware updates. So this one has a lot of cool stuff for it going, but it's a little bit heavy, so I don't usually travel with this one, but I do use it every day on the daily as my main charger. You're looking at the back of the iMARS Dual, and they really are very close in the specs. So I mean, this is kind of comparing potatoes to potatoes here, and really this charger only has about 50 watt less than the D6. So if you look down here, it says that the charging current is 15 amp times 2, and that means that you can share 15 amps between both there, and also it will charge up to around 300 watt times 2, so it's a shared 300 watt on both individual charge ports. The DC charge max on the D6 is going to be around 650 watt, just a little bit more wattage, but they're both maxed out at 15 amp. On the left hand side, we have where the AC cord plugs into here for the AC input, as well as output for 2 amp for a USB output, say charger devices or your phone. And over on this side, we have a physical fan, and we have more ventilation on this side, so very similar to the D6 there. Now if you accidentally knock this charger over, it will start to beep. So that's kind of cool that it does that. That's something that I just figured out playing around with this charger on the bench. Now you can also use these chargers kind of like a battery checker. So we're just going to plug this 4S 1300 in, and right now it's a little bit low at 14 volt right there on the screen, and it doesn't show me any inputs yet for the individual cells. But if we look here, it says positive there, and we'll go ahead, or it says negative there. So we're going to flip this around. You're going to plug this in just like this all the way on the far left, and having your positive out this direction. Now it shows me a little more information, and you'll notice that it only shows it on this side. So this is the second port over here, this is A, and this is B. If you want to go ahead and go into this one, we're going to go ahead and enter, and that should take me in there. If not, I'm going to long press it. It shows me channel A. I'm going to go ahead and select the type of charge I'm going to do here. So I'm going to do a charge. You can also do discharge in here, storage, balance, and you can do EXT discharge and digital power. I'm just going to select charge right there. We're going to select LiPo at target voltage of 4.2 volts per cell. We're doing a 4S battery there, and it will let you go all the way up to 6S there. It's going to show you all the way 5 to 6S. We're going to select 4 there, and I'm wondering if we can do an auto type of setup, say in the select task there, but I can select auto with my D6, which is kind of convenient. My target current is going to be 2 amp, and I'll just go down one more, and I'll press the enter button, and now we will be charging. So it shows me that I'm using a 4S LiPo. It's charging 16, 17, 21%. It's actually moving pretty quick there. It shows me how much milliamp I'm putting back into the battery as well, and my current voltage of each cell, and the time elapsed up here, as well as my channel. If I want to go back out to the main screen, I can press back, and that will take me back out to the 2-up display. Now that battery's at 49% and still charging. Say that I wanted to charge a Lion at the same time. or some other type of battery, I can do that. Just plug it into the XT60 there, plug in my balance connector for my 6S lead, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the back button again. That takes me to channel A, gives me all that information. If I hit it again, it'll take me to channel B, and now I'm where my Lion's plugged in. So I'm going to hit the enter button right here, and I'm going to go up and change the battery type to Lion. It'll do LiHV as well as LiFe and nickel metals as well. So I'm going to select Lion there, press the enter button, and now my target voltage is 4.10 volt per cell, 6S, and target current 2 amp. And I can go ahead and start that task. And now I'm charging a Lion and a Lipo at the same time. You're going to start to see information come up on the screen when it becomes available, and I can see all 6 of my Lion cells there. And to see both up at the same time, press back again, and now we're on that Duo screen. And now you're looking at the front of the D6 Duo Pro, and there's really a little bit larger real estate here, top to bottom, left to right. It shows channel 1, channel 2 there, my time elapsed. It shows the same voltage, the milliamp putting into the battery, and the current voltage. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in a 6S Lipo here to the XT60 there, as well as my balance lead here. We're going to do some balance charging. You can also charge without balance charging, but I do not recommend that. If you're a new person, make sure you don't believe your batteries by themselves charging. Press channel over here. Super simple. It just switches me over to channel 1 there. Press it again and it switches me to channel 2. So this is a little quicker interface. I feel like the other one kind of had more of a learning curve, and I found myself pressing the up down buttons like on accident, and it was giving me kind of an error type of sound, which is really annoying. But if you want to go ahead and quickly get started charging with this one, we just go to channel 1 there, and we use our jog wheel to go ahead. We can change information here. We can see everything in full color, and we can go ahead and press down, and that will take us into our task settings here. So we can do a charge, we can do discharge, discharge EXT, and storage and balance there. So that's kind of cool. We're gonna do a charge. We're gonna change it from Lion to Lipo here. And we're gonna do 4.2 volt per cell. That's the cell count here. It's not an HV battery. And we're gonna do 6S because that's the one it is. And I just want to double check on that. It'll also select 1S there, which is kind of cool. And the current setting, 2 amp. We're just going to go ahead and start that task. And now it's charging. And this one shows kind of a different color screen. So I like this one for the fact that when I go back out to the main screen here, it shows me that this side has an orange screen while it's charging. And then once it's done, you'll see a blue screen. And then when it's completely finished, you'll see kind of a green screen. And so this one, it has a little beep when it's done, but I like that it changes color here on this side as well. And the same for channel 2. And again, they're both pretty similar in the specs. I'm just way more used to this interface rather than the 4-button setup that the Gens Ace iMARS Dual has. And now both of these chargers are doing their job, and if I want to on the D6, I can also put my phone on there. As long as you have a newer Android phone or some type of iPhone that has internal charging, it should charge wirelessly on top. If not, maybe I need to take this OtterBox off. Sometimes if you move it around, it'll finally find the spot. But typically I can charge on this, but I don't. So that's totally up to you. If you're a person who does wireless charging, you can do it with this. But I just rather charge it by cable. It always does it much quicker. So for me, I'm still on the fence about whether I like the iMARS Dual better or not versus this one, because, well, this one's shiny and it has a new interface on there. It's, I would say it has a little more options in here as well for the type of charges and discharges that you can do and storage charge versus the D6. It has a little older firmware, but again, I could probably update this firmware and have a little newer options on here. But you know what? This is a kind of charger you can buy it, set it, and forget it. So once I set it up once, updated the firmware about a year ago now, it's just been my workhorse, and it does the same thing every day for me, and it charges all my batteries for the channel. So yeah, we'll see how the iMARS Dual does in the next couple months. We'll see, you guys will see as subscribers if I end up switching over to this one, but I just kind of wanted to showcase it today on the channel and show you guys the iMARS Dual, because I think it looks nice. It's a pretty charger. It has almost the same options as the D6, if not a little more. This one just has a tiny bit more power. If you're that guy that wants more power and a wireless charge option, maybe you want the D6, but I'll put the links down below, and hopefully you enjoyed the information today, and hopefully you learned something today on the channel. I'm Justin Davis, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.